Hello everyone. Welcome to my basic Python tutorial. In this video, I will be covering the basics of Python. First, download an code editor program to allow easier viewing of the code you are working with. Here is a list of code editors that I know of and use. However, I suggest you use Visual Studio Code if you are trying to learn and use coding languages other than Python, as it contains a myriad of modules from JavaScript to C++. Once downloaded and opened, you should see this. The center is the script in which you type out what you want to code. The bottom middle is your console, where the code you wrote is written out. Next, you have to download the modules you want to use. Right now, we need Python, so click on Extensions. Search for Python, and download the first one. Now, let us begin our first lesson. The most basic line of code in Python is the print command. What print does is that it writes out any message placed in its brackets in the console. So, say we used print hello world, the console will then write out hello world after you run the script. The print function can also work on integers. Do you notice something? The integer does not have apostrophes around them. The apostrophes are used around strings, or in simple terms, around words. The computer cannot understand languages the way we do, so the apostrophes around words are to specify that they were not code, but instead words that was to be printed out. This can be seen in the third example. When trying to print out hello world without apostrophes, the computer thinks it is part of the code and tries to translate it. However, since hello world is not a line of code that exists, the computer produces an error as it cannot recognize it. So, when printing a message, remember to add apostrophes. Next, let us learn about comments. By adding a hashtag at the start of a line, the line turns into a comment line. Anything written in the comment line is only seen by us humans and not the computer. That way, you can add messages in your script without triggering an error when running the code. Multiple line comments can be created using multiple hashtags, or adding 3 apostrophes above and below the lines used for comments. The bottom example shows how comments can be used to keep note of what each line of code does what. On to the next part. Variables. Variables are containers for data. As you can see, by using x = 5, we give the letter x the value 5. So, when x is printed on a console, the number 5 is given. Similarly, variables can store strings as well. Furthermore, when two variables of numbers are added together and print, as shown in example 3, the result is printed. This works with or without the print function, allowing your code to do basic math, especially with different inputs. What needs to be noted, however, is that certain variables cannot be used. Variables with multiple capital letters are allowed, as well as variables with numbers and underscores as shown in these examples. Variables cannot have a number at the start, nor can they contain spaces. Finally, only alphanumeric characters and underscores are allowed, anything else will generate an error. Last but not least, variables are case sensitive. Even though both have different strings, the only one message is written out due to the case sensitivity, allowing multiple variables to have different messages whilst sharing a similar name. A single line can be used to form multiple variables by using commas as seen in the first example. Multiple variables can also have the same variable by using equal signs, as shown by example 2. That is all I have for part 1 of this tutorial series, but be sure to tune in for part 2 where I will focus more on the intricacies of strings, numbers and booleans.